Y'all listen, Sabrina just followed me on Instagram. Somebody's paying attention. Time for the mic drop. We're going to end every show by going deep on one topic affecting our community in hopes we can all learn a little more. Now, a recent report compiled over the past 2 years by the nonprofit group the American Institutes for Research has revealed a disturbing fact about Northern Virginia's Fairfax County public school system. All right, students with disabilities within the system are more likely to be suspended and to fail state tests than their peers without disabilities. This was done over a 2-year period, okay? And the study shows that these kids are 3 times more likely to receive an in-school suspension and about 4.5 times more likely to get an out-of-school suspension than their fellow students who do not have disabilities. Now, the study, which was commissioned and paid for by the school board itself, did find that Fairfax offers some positives for these kids, including a strong infrastructure for special education services, and many of the parents of students with disabilities report having strong positive feelings about their kids' teachers. But still, 3 times more likely for in-school suspensions and 4.5 times more likely for out-of-school suspensions. Now, I don't work in education, clearly, but these rates seemed excessively high to me. And then I learned about a phenomenon known as informal removal, and then it began to make sense. So this practice, which has reportedly risen during the pandemic, it goes like this. Let's say you have a kid with ADHD, and they find it hard to sit still in class. Some of you parents, you know what I'm talking about. They can't sit still at home, the kitchen table, class, anywhere. So in some instances, teachers or administrators, rather than being patient and trying to work with the child, will just yank them out of class and call their parents to come pick them up. So parents across the country, interviewed by the Associated Press, report being called to pick up their children repeatedly, sometimes less than an hour into the school day. Good luck getting anything done, right, Mom and Dad? But here's the thing. Many of these pickups, they're not recorded as school suspensions, probably because federal law protects students from being repeatedly taken out of the classroom for disability-related behaviors. But if it isn't written down, then the feds don't know. So then the school suspension rates don't go up, and that saves them from any penalties. And families of students with disabilities, they don't receive the protections they're afforded under the current federal law. Now, those protections include the school possibly having to make special accommodations for their child after a review triggered by 10 suspensions. 10 suspensions that were logged, written down, right? Now, listen. Clearly, this is not what's happening in the Fairfax County School District. I'm not saying that that's what's happening. But it is happening in other parts of the country. And it's happening so often and so much that Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth of Illinois have formally asked the Department of Education to strengthen regulations against it. Again, I can't underscore this enough. I'm not saying that that is what's happening in Virginia. But what I am saying is that it shouldn't be happening at all. Now, in their letter to the Department of Education, here's what the senators wrote. Quote, informal removals not only restrict children's personal growth and decrease their likelihood of graduating, but they're also discriminatory. And at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about. Children being discriminated against because of a disability. And do you really need me to tell you that that's wrong? No, I don't need to tell you that. And you certainly shouldn't need the government to tell you either. Now, schools should be a place of safety for all children. All children, right? And it's up to us, the grown-ups, to see to it that they are. And on that note, class dismissed.